On paper, the economy looks stable. Low inflation, strong banks, ample reserves. But on the ground, businesses across industries are under pressure from new U.S. tariffs, a widening deficit, and a barrage of corruption scandals. Today, we hear from George Barcelon, the chairman of the Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industry, the voice of business confidence, governance, trade, and investment climate, on how industries are coping. Good morning, sir. Thanks
Good
for
morning,
being here with
Maggie,
us.
for inviting me.
Yeah, always good to have you. Okay, sir. On paper, the economy looks stable. But what's the situation on the ground as you and your members see it?
Well, so far, I think the economy is holding on. There was a blip earlier when the exchange rate went beyond 57. I think it has stabilized around 56, 60, something like that. So that's workable. The export sectors have been, especially in the electronic sectors, they're doing well. Other sectors are somehow still surviving, primarily because there's uncertainty in the tariff issue with the U.S. Of course, we're now taxed 19%, which is not the lowest, but we're comparable to Indonesia. But having said that, one of the concerns, again, is the food security for the economy. As of late, we have the weather has not been very cooperative. We have, especially during the planting season of July and August, when we have flooding. So definitely that will affect the harvest, harvest time.
Yeah.
But generally speaking, the economy is performing quite acceptable.
Okay, speaking of the economy, GDP growth holding at 5.4%, below expectations. And with yesterday's Senate leadership shakeup, what are the biggest concerns among you and your members?
Well, we still have to wait and see with the new leadership of Senator President Tito Soto. But in the past, he has been the Senate President before. And I think he's seasoned at this
Yeah, he's a
task.
seasoned guy for the job.
So we're comfortable with him.
Okay, talking about the political noise and the corruption headlines, when you talk about the General Appropriations Act, we see the theme is budget cuts across agencies. But then they're splurging on flood control. What does this tell you about the government's priorities?
Well, what I can say is really the public is very, they've reached the point where they're angry already because of that kind of amount that we're seeing on the scam and flood-related public works project. When you think about the amount of, reaching in the billions, it's sad to say that our memories are short. When we think of the scam before on the PDAF, Philippine Development Assistance Fund, during that time, which is not too long ago, 10 years ago, the fund involved, I saw a study, was about 10 billion pesos during that period of 5 to 8 years. Well, this one is just 3 years, and you're talking a fund of close to 1 trillion pesos.
Yeah, we could have built a new city.
You could build a new city. So that's the thing that worries our citizen, that it reflects on poor governance.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, there's concern that whether this might affect our credit rating. The credit rating seems to be holding on, but when they review our economic performance, I hope not, but it might.
Yeah, yeah. Well, this is damaging to business confidence. Drilling into that point, DPW contractors, the Discayas, have linked several names, big names, Martin Romualdez, Zaldico, and many other names, but no hard evidence.
Yes.
Still, corruption headlines are front and center.
Yeah.
How damaging is this to business confidence and investor confidence in the Philippines?
Well, it is damaging because of the fact that, business making money is not exactly easy, and we're the people paying the taxes. And of course, we look forward that our country will be moving ahead in infrastructure work, which affects our agri sectors, food security, and logistic costs. And so, seeing all this is quite what do you call it? For people to talk about it in a very bad point of
Yeah,
feeling,
with
right?
all the clamor now, all the headlines, are you confident that this time around, not just the middlemen will be held accountable?
Well, the whole issue was brought out during the SONA of the president. Okay, we commend him for this, but there needs to be follow-up. And I think what's important is for the president to really fully back up the agencies that's tasked to check on this. Okay, he should allow whoever is tasked to clean up the Department of Public Works, which is at this point in time the newly appointed Secretary Vince Dizon. So if he gives him that support, no stone left unturned, regardless of how high this would go, whether he might step on some powerful politicians, then we will get somewhere.
Okay. The Discayas were your partners in Miru. Were you surprised?
No, they were not with a partner in the consortium. Initially, they were considered, but after due diligence, I think they decided not to include them.
Okay. Moving on, Malacanang is proposing a new commission to probe the flood control anomalies. But the Ombudsman and COA already have that mandate. Are you in favor of creating a new independent body just to look into this?
As I said, it'd be nice if you can get people who are really independent-minded and who will get the full support of the higher-ups, like the President BBM. But the Department of Budget and Management, COA, they should do their work. So
Yeah.
in a way, it's surprising for us in the public to find such a big amount that there was an oversight on such big amount
Yeah.
when we have these government agencies looking after it.
Do you think this new commission, this duplication, is necessary?
If we're all serious about this, okay, as I said from the very top, the private sector has to be looped in. The civic social organizations have to be part of this investigative commission. And given the timeline, we should not let this drag on. If you look back, there are quite a number of cases during the time of Janet Napoles
Yes.
that were dismissed. She was not found guilty, I think 15 or 16 cases. Why? Because they could not find her guilty due to, unreasonable doubt. So they cannot find her guilty. So in this particular case, as I heard earlier from your interview with Senator Risa Hontiveros, again, it's based on the evidence.
That's what's hard to.
That's
hard.
what's
The
hard to
affidavit,
get.
that's easy, but the evidence.
The evidence.
That's
okay.
very tricky. To this day, with reference to the Janet Lim Napoles case, we have still not recovered.
Yes,
the
she
stolen
was,
funds.
based on court decision, she was asked to refund something in two tranches, something to be in the amount of 50 million pesos. Now, I don't know whether she has or not, but when you put that in comparison to the amount that we're talking about, that's really peanut. Here, you're talking about the same amount, but in billions of pesos. So I hope that whoever is found guilty, of course, they should have their day in court. But if they're found guilty, then the law should apply.
Yeah.
And they should refund. Whether it's how much, it's up to the whoever is investigating.
Yeah. Okay. On that note, the DOTR budget has been cut, delaying big-ticket transport items like the subway and the railways. How worried are your members about this?
For those projects that are in the pipeline, we hope that they will continue. But again, there must be timeline to be met. So the Department of Public Transportation should be on top of things. We're happy that the EDSA repavement was postponed. Okay, and that really brings comfort to people who are in business who ply the EDSA route. But we still need a lot of new roads, considering the capacity of cars and logistic trucks and everything. So I hope that they would be selective in some of these projects wherein the funding is required for
Because
completion.
these are things that we need.
For completion, yeah. We don't want it to be held up, and then the contractor will give the reason I couldn't complete because I didn't get paid.
Yeah. Still on infrastructure, President Marcos is giving zero budget for DPWH flood control for 2026 because he wants to rid the budget of anomalies and problematic items. What are your thoughts on this move?
Well, my thought is that in the 2025 GAA, the budget that's allotted for the public works flood control is almost half a trillion. Yeah, I think 480 billion, something like that. Yeah. Now, I don't know how much has been spent, but based on the report of the Department of Budget Management, the data that I see is that they've released 96% of the GAA. So I don't know how much is left in the Department of Public Works. But having said that, again, the government should be selective. Okay, give priorities on projects that are ongoing, are doing well, are not ghost projects. So those should continue because the multiplier effect to business is quite broad. Now, not to allot any more for 2026. Okay, coming from a base of almost half a trillion pesos. Okay, I think the Secretary Dizon will have to review that. He was asked by the Congress to clean up this 800 to 900 billion pesos public works scam in 7 to 8 days. I thought that it's kind of short for him to accomplish anything. And definitely, I wish him all the best. He's somebody I know, and he's quite capable.
Yeah.
But again, it's really the support that he will get from the higher-ups.
They need the support from Malacanang to do the job, to really prosecute to the
That's
fullest
right.
degree. On the plus side, we've got RSA, we've got MVP, tycoons stepping up with flood control efforts. What are your thoughts on the private sector taking the lead here?
Well, I commend them for their initiative. They are now teaming up in various sectors, like the energy sectors. They've teamed up, and I'm glad to read about dealing with the flood control system. But
Beyond
we
these,
need But what we need is to have an overall plan. For the flood control, you cannot do it.
Just elevate their city. And everything else
you cannot do it bits and pieces because some places that you are avoiding floods, so the roads are what's called landfill to be higher, but the other areas are affected. So we need to have a sort of a Marshall plan for this.
Plan. Beyond these initiatives, is there more the private sector can do to address infrastructure gaps and help restore public trust?
The funds are coming from the government, okay? And the money is coming from taxpayer, right? So I think the private sector should be looped in. Okay? As I said earlier, when I look back, during different administration, first we have what we call BUB, budget bottom-up budget, okay? And then we have what we call grassroots participatory budget. But these are nice to hear, but it's a question of implementation. Okay? So the private sector should be looped in, and I think the civil social organizations should be made aware in their locality what are these projects, and then I think they should have a billboard that shows the timeline of these projects.
Monitoring.
So they can have monitor. Unlike all of a sudden you're hearing multi-billion projects that are nowhere to be seen.
Yeah.
Okay? And the private sectors are in the lost.
Yeah, more needs to be done for disclosure.
More collaborations would definitely help.
All right. Thank you so much for your time, George Barcelon, the president of the Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industry.
Thank you, Mikey.